let us get to it. So heading over to the dollar. So we had, of course, CPI yesterday, and things became very interesting, mostly interesting. We did see a bit of a break to the upside. It hasn't necessarily lit the market alight with this move. It's not a ginormous move, but some momentum's coming to the market, which is good because we've been very corrective, just slowly ascending to the upside. And I said yesterday that with the CPI, hopefully that will be like a make or break for us in terms of what price is going to do within this channel, because price could easily respect this channel, the top end of it, and see us swing back down. I said keep an eye for the break of the counter trend line, but I was favoring price to break to the upside because I do think dollar is a little bit kind of fatigued right now. It's been bearish since the start of the year. Going back to the start of 2025, around here, we've been falling since, and we are quite stretched. And looking at how price is behaving, it's very, very corrective. So I've been looking for a bit of an up move for the dollar, and I'm still looking for much more of it. And we saw one bullish candle. I'm looking for price to have a bit of relief and see some type of bullish trend, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, I think the bigger move is still probably down for the dollar, so I still think long term we can still see some weakness, but maybe for a few days, maybe a couple weeks, or again, we'll have to wait and see. But for something like that, I do think we can see somewhat of an uptrend. And I'm very much interested in buying the dollar and maybe selling pound USD or selling Euro USD. We'll get to those USD pairs shortly. But the opportunity I'm keeping a close eye on looks something like this. I want to see a bit more upside. Then I'll be happy with some pullbacks or some longs. I'm not necessarily waiting for price to take up this high. I don't think that's, well, it would be great if price did, but I'm looking at pound USD. It looks like it's going to break structure there anyway. So I don't necessarily need the dollar to do it as well. But if it was to break structure, that would be a very strong sign that, okay, yeah, dollar is meaning business to the upside and likely will continue. But the break of the the break of the channel is more than enough for me. It kind of tells me, okay, we're probably going to continue higher now. If the market was going to form a lower high, I would expect it to be printed in by now and see some signs of continuation. But it was a strong break to the upside, and I'm looking for a pullback, a higher low, and a continuation, maybe a push to 100, big psychological level for the dollar. That could be where price is attracted to next. Looking at Euro USD, of course, we got the opposite. So strength in the dollar meant Euro did fall. And again, things are looking interesting for Euro dollar as well. We are breaking outside of this ascending channel here. So similar to the dollar, we are making a bit of a statement here. Price didn't form the higher low. We didn't break that counter trend line to the upside. And it looks like Euro dollar is starting to see a bit of a breather. And it's the same analysis for the DXY as for Euro dollar. Bullish since the start of the year. Yes, we've seen some very nice aggressive momentum at the start and most of the year anyway. But since the low here back in May, we've been very, very corrective in the way up. So I haven't really been looking to try and follow Euro dollar, to be honest, because the market looks very fatigued. It looks like it's running out of steam, and in FX we don't typically go in one direction for too long, especially when we look very, very tight. So my interest is looking for shorts, looking for selling opportunities, and now that we've got the break of that counter of this corrective channel, this now makes me pretty bearish here on Euro dollar. Now I'm well aware it's just one big bearish candle. Haven't really seen much momentum from it yet, so I kind of want to see price continue to push through. Then I can look for some pullbacks and some shorts. Somewhat of a head and shoulder opportunity. You got the left shoulder over there. Of course, that will now be your head. Break through. This will probably be your neckline. Right shoulder. There's the opportunity. Let's see if we can find some shorts. So Euro dollar, something I'm keeping close side. It's not quite there yet. Yes, we've got the break of the channel. Maybe you might be looking to try and short the break of the channel. Not really my forte. I'm always waiting for price to pull back, create structure, then take my shorts. I want to put my stop loss above structure. That's just how I trade pretty much. Short in the break of the channel, nothing necessarily wrong with it. It's just not a style of mine in terms of how I trade. But I do have a bearish bias here for Euro dollar. Strong break to the downside unless price was to recover that momentum and close strongly back above the channel. This will turn into a big fake out. Then I'll kind of rethink things. Maybe that was a fake out there. that would of course make me analyze again. But at the moment, I like the breakout, a lot of momentum. Let's see if we can see a bit more downside, find some pullbacks, and short euro dollar. And my favorite USD pair right now is 100% pound USD. I really like what I'm seeing with pound USD. Very, very close to taking out these lows here. Probably will do it this afternoon, hopefully. I like the look of this bearish candle on the 4-hour chart. Nice wick to the upside, strong bearish close. Hopefully some momentum continues to the downside off the back of that. Similar to the wick we had over here. Lovely drop, of course, that was just before CPI. But yeah, bearish pound USD, and that's exactly what I've been after. Of course, we did break the counter trend line last week, so that kind of was the sign that okay, pound USD may be looking to break and head lower. Now that we've got the kind of full breakout of that, and now that price is about to take out this low, which is very significant because this was the previous low, which gave us the previous high. So that's our most recent low. So a break of that would be a break of market structure, and of course that means we're bearish. So pound USD to me is looking really, really good for shorting opportunities. As I've been saying for the past few streams, price has taken out some major highs recently, and after we did that, we've been looking very, very corrective. So the way I see it, yes, we've been bullish. Yes, we've seen a very nice uptrend, but the market's running out of steam, and in an area where these sort of situations tend to occur. When we do take up major highs, we do tend to see price run out of steam shortly afterwards and correct to the upside. Now, whether price will continue falling or will be a complete reversal, we're not too sure about that. Although I do think pound USD probably still does continue to the upside, to be honest. So I am looking at this as somewhat of a counter trend before maybe the larger trend does continue. But I'm not interested in buying pound USD anymore. I haven't been interested in buying pound USD for a while because, again, showing a lot of signs of corrective behavior, showing signs of fatigue. And again, as a swing trader, I want to be getting into the market before we've seen the bulk of the move. I don't want to be getting into the market after we've already had a lot of movement in one particular direction and the trends continued for a while, because as a swing trader, the whole idea is that you're trying to capitalize on the swing. And if the swing's already seen most of the move, there's not much left for you. Of course, the move could always continue. You don't necessarily know when it's going to end, but I'd rather look for the opposing move where potentially I might find a bit more joy. And that's exactly what's happening with pound USD right now. So if we can pull back, I like the look of this area here, that last wick to the downside. That preferably will be my area of interest, an area where I would be happy to get short. I may have to think on my feet in terms of analyzing the pullback, seeing where we could get to. This, like I said, would be nice, but we might not hit that level, so I'll see how we operate. At the moment, we've had a very nice bearish swing, so again, I'm not really interested in shorting the market right now either. We're about to take out key lows here. Not the best time to be shorting the market, so I do want to see some relief, and upon that relief is when I look for my lower highs, where I look for my entries to continue short. But yeah, pound USD, I really like the look of this, keeping a very, very close eye on it. At the moment, 1.355 would be my area which I like to do the business at, but we'll see how things do develop. But yeah, I really like what I'm seeing with pound USD. Dollar CAD as well. Of course, another USD pair. We did see a strong push to the upside yesterday afternoon. Hasn't done too much though. So I said yesterday I'm not a big fan of dollar CAD, and today that's still very much the case. We're still very corrective on the way up. We had that double bottom, which price did a good job at, as you can see here. So price came in once, almost a second time up. I'm counting that as a double bottom. We broke to the upside out of this bullish channel, and I'm favoring a push back to the highs here. So that's the whole point, a whole plan with dollar CAD, double bottom, looking for a push back into the neckline. Since we did get that breakout last week, we've been very, very corrective, choppy, firing wicks all over the shop. So I have just been staying away from dollar CAD, not really trading in any area of significance either. So not interested with dollar CAD, and I'm looking for us to push back into resistance up at the highs there. I did say coming to the week that if you're looking to get involved with dollar CAD, either you're kind of looking for price to push back into lows, this is a healthy place for a buy, or you're looking for price to push back into resistance, that's a healthy place for a sell. Anything in here, I would stay away personally. Way too choppy, way too indecisive, difficult to find some good stop losses. We'll see how price operates, but it looks like dollar is strong at the moment, so possibly we're preferring a move to the upside at this moment in time, and then we'll see what price does at resistance, whether we'll break through or respect it. If we do end up breaking through, then I'm looking at this as a potential double bottom for maybe a reversal, and I'll be very interested in some pullbacks for some long. So we can speak upon that maybe in the next few days if that does end up happening. But for now, we've got a bit of a range. Let's see what price does at resistance, whether we break through or respect it. In terms of Aussie dollar, that one's been looking quite bearish. It looks like I'm not going to get the opportunity at the high of the range. As I've been saying, corrective behavior, and when price is corrective like this, most of the time we do end up breaking lower. Of course, not guaranteed, but most of the time we do end up breaking lower. The difficulty with this pattern is kind of understanding when that move will happen. You know, I was expecting it to happen here. It didn't. It was a bit of a fake out. Price decided it wanted to continue to consolidate, correct for a few more days, couple more weeks. Of course, we still haven't got the breakout yet, so I'm still not going to necessarily confirm that just yet. But again, it's still corrective in this pattern, still behaving in this pattern. So I do expect us to still eventually break lower. It's just taking our sweet time. I said in terms of opportunities, I'm looking for a push to the high of the channel. That's really where I want to find entries, so I can at least short from the high into the low of the channel, probably take most of the profit there, then see if I can hold on to some positions for breakout. And if I see some red flags at the low, looks like price is reversing, I can always take my profit and run. But yeah, Aussie dollar, very bearish. Again, the way price is moving, it's not a healthy trend at all. I do think we are due some relief to the downside. And of course, with the newfound USD strength, that could be happening sooner rather than later. Of course, very aggressive candle to the downside. We are pushing back into support. So we haven't done anything significant. We could still very much find support and rally again. So don't get too excited. We can see some evidence of price breaking lower. But yeah, I do expect us to continue lower. This is still the opportunity. I'll wait to see if it does set up. At the moment, not looking likely. But yeah, I don't mind, to be honest, because I think pound USD looks a lot better. So I'd rather spend my time with pound. New Zealand dollar, same situation as well, operating within a nice ascending channel. Again, the shorts were looking good about a couple of weeks ago now. At the high of the channel, we respected it. We've pushed down. We've been very corrective. And now we're still pushing down. So ever since we've had the reaction at the high, we've been talking about price getting to the low of the channel and then seeing what happens. Similar to Aussie dollar, I do think we'll break to the downside. I do think we'll break lower and see a bit of relief. We've had a very big bullish run. Price has been very corrective. Typically, when we're in this pattern, we do tend to have that bigger relief. Maybe price still wants to be bullish and we have a bigger pullback at some stage, something like that. We can look at that in a bit more detail later, at a later date. But at the moment, we are pushing to the low of the channel, so we'll see what price does here. There might be some buys here. I'm never really one to try and find buys in an ascending channel because I'm not looking to try and continue this trend. The whole point of me expecting price to break lower is because the trend is unhealthy, it's tiring, it's likely to break lower to go and collect some more buyers. So as a result, it's not a market which I want to be buying. So yeah, we might bounce from there. So I would keep an eye on that, but I wouldn't be looking to buy it necessarily. I'm expecting price to break through. So I'm just backing away from New Zealand dollar. As I said earlier last week, if price was to return back to resistance, I'll be happy to short. But at this rate, it doesn't look likely. So don't have much of an opportunity there for New Zealand dollar either. But I am bearish on the pair. As for gold, so gold, I've been keeping a close eye on this. Yeah, very, very flat. I've been not speaking so highly of the price action of gold as of late because it's been so choppy. And I'm still very much in the same camp. I'm not a big fan of the price action for gold either. We respected resistance yesterday, had a bit of a sell-off there as well. in the afternoon. I think that was off the back of CPI as well. So I think gold is very awkward. It's a market that is very, very flat. Of course, the higher time frames, the bigger picture in a ginormous uptrend. Don't get it twisted. So naturally, I'm still looking to buy the market. Still think we can see higher prices. But I would want price to push into significant support before I do find any entries, because I want to be away from the noise. I don't put my entries and my stop loss inside the noise. That's where you're leaving yourself exposed, and the probability of getting wicked out is pretty high. Whereas if I get my stop loss below here, not that that's necessarily perfect, but again, I'm just in a much more of a safer place. And if I do get stopped out, I can always find re-entry in a safe place and maximize my risk to reward. And I also like the idea of a push into this area, really away from the noise. And if it does play out as well, you're positioned very, very well for a swing trade. Inside the middle of here, I think it's just way too chaotic. There might be some short-term opportunities, and that's about it. In terms of silver, I like silver. We've had some retracement. I'm keeping a very close eye on for silver. I wasn't too sure if we'll get the retest of this high here, but it looks like I might be proven wrong, because we are definitely not too far away from that. A little bit more downside, and we could be testing that area in no time. So keeping a close eye there for silver. I do want us to behave a little bit more correctively. We have pushed down quite forcefully, which is a slight red flag. We had a massive break to the upside. Momentum's looked very good. We've pushed down with some meaningful bearish momentum as well, but if we can become a bit more corrective, that will kind of increase the quality of the setup. And yeah, just simple break and retest. That's the idea. There's a lot of momentum right now for silver, and the plan is we've broken out of this consolidation, so we're just expecting momentum to really take charge, take control, and see price really trend. I've been looking at 40 as the next big psychological target. We are not too far away from that. So going forward with silver, looking for buys. 37.3 is my area of attention, just looking for the break and retest essentially. Not too far away. Let's see what opportunities we can get on silver in the next coming days.